Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Head writers say Carly and Jack are no accident, and we're considering more lives at risk. On General Hospital, nothing is ever quite as it seems. The passionate exchange between Carly and Jack serves as an example. We pictured it as a natural occurrence, a simple case of two attractive individuals falling in love. However, it, or any other aspect of the body for that matter, has more to it than meets the eye. Elizabeth Corta and Chris Van Etten tell Soap Opera Digest that Brennan's presence in Port Charles and his closeness to Carly are not coincidental. However, his feelings for Carly are unintentional, and they will directly clash with his goals for Jocelyn. And what may their intentions be exactly? Given that she killed Cyrus, Joss is undoubtedly under fire. But anyone would agree, wouldn't they, that he had it coming? After killing her boyfriend, the man came at her brandishing an axe. This was the strongest argument for justifiable homicide there was. However, the Spencer women will find themselves plunged into a world totally alien to them, Brennan's world. The scribes caution. Their relationship with Jack will affect more than simply them. Many Port Charles locals will be drawn into this unfolding tale as friendships, families, and loyalties are questioned, current relationships are put to the test, new relationships are formed, and many lives are in danger. Jason is one of them. Cold as stone? Really? When Jocelyn introduced Cyrus to his maker, he wasn't even present. Perhaps the only plot point that doesn't depend on him riding to the rescue is this one. However, the combination platter of Joss murdering Cyrus and Jack helping puts our hero's freedom on the line. According to Corta and Van Etten, we have some comings and goings to share. According to General Hospital spoilers, now that the show's final credits indicate that Taj Bello is officially off contract, let's start with some updates. In a recent Instagram post, Bello reflected on his time as TJ, raising doubts among fans about his decision to leave the show. Of course, the exit chatter was also influenced by TJ's lack of screen time. We have officially confirmed that Bello is no longer under contract, although it's still feasible that he will continue to make appearances. Given that it's clear that GH no longer has any major story ideas for TJ, it appears that Bello was giving out parting clues. Jeff Kober is out as Cyrus Renault, according to other comings and goings reports. When Jocelyn Jax took Cyrus down permanently at the cabin, she assisted in his lethal escape. Evan Hofer also appeared in a flashback scene where Cyrus was seen taking off Dex's medical ID bracelet after he passed away. With Jonathan Jackson back on television, Guy Wilson's brief stint as Lucky Spencer has come to an end. In case you missed it, Charlie Besso played Tobias, Aiden Weber's lover, who was finally cast. Prior to Aiden being up to the hospital for Lucky's most recent crisis, he and Tobias went skating on Valentine's Day. Quinn, Kai Taylor's friend and teammate, will make another appearance during the week of February 24th to 28th. Kai is not going to put up with Quinn's abuse of Trina Robinson. Kai will lash out at Quinn after he begins disparaging Trina for diverting Kai's attention from football. Kai will persuade Quinn to back off and realize that Trina is the best thing that has happened to him recently, since without her support, he would be a complete disaster. That concludes our comings and goings news. But as the action intensifies, we'll be sure to provide you with additional cast details and story predictions. According to General Hospital spoilers, a number of characters will soon take different paths, so keep an eye out. Michael makes a vibrant comeback to Port Charles. Michael Corinthos is expected to return to the canvas soon, and when he does, he will undoubtedly have a lot to do. According to General Hospital spoilers, he will fight Willow Corinthos for custody of their children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, in addition to having a score to settle with Drew Quartermain. When crossed, Michael has shown himself to be spiteful and vindictive, and he will not have any sympathy for Willow or Drew, particularly after learning that Drew planned to take his kids and raise them with Willow as if Michael didn't exist. Drew Quartermain will be destroyed, Michael Corinthos says. For Michael, removing Aurora from Drew was only the first step. Even though his latest health issue is only a setback, when he gets back to Port Charles, his desire to destroy Drew will be rekindled. Michael will do all it takes to ensure Drew loses everything he holds dear. Starting with his congressional career, he will work to undermine it. Regardless of the consequences, he will stop at nothing to damage Drew's reputation. In addition, he will ensure that Drew's dishonest actions are well known, and that no one will support him. Willow Corinthos is ensured to lose her children by Michael Corinthos. Michael will do all it takes to guarantee Willow permanently loses custody of her kids. As long as it is kept a secret that Sasha Corbin is expecting his kid, he will undoubtedly be granted custody. Willow will lose custody as a result of Michael's unrelenting tactics, which will make her appear cold and unfaithful in front of a judge. Willow will be devastated and distraught about the loss of her children. Not done Michael Corinthos, however, Michael's one purpose will keep hurting Willow and Drew, just as it did when Willow cheated on him with his uncle Drew. Michael will do everything it takes to make sure they both receive what they are due because he is a true Quartermain. How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Will Michael return to Port Charles with a vengeance, in your opinion? Will Michael pursue Willow and Drew? Will Michael cause Willow to lose her kids? To find out, keep watching ABC's General Hospital during the week. Someone in this situation seems to be in dire need of a better buddy. According to General Hospital spoilers, Dante truly let Chase down, and in a way that caught him off guard. For all the information you require, continue reading below. Spoilers for General Hospital. Dante totally screws Chase over. The most recent episode claims that Chase was able to pull off a significant Valentine's Day surprise. Still, he sensed that something wasn't quite right. And instead of helping him deal with his emotions, Dante did the exact opposite. This is because Dante thought it would be wise to inform Lulu that Chase and Brooklyn are unable to conceive. As though that information about their relationship is really necessary for everyone in Port Charles to know. Chase feels as though he has been let down. It goes without saying that this scenario generated a lot of discussion on the internet. Chase thought he was opening up to his friend. Many General Hospital fans have posted on social media. Then Dante goes and babbles to his annoying ex-wife, who is becoming more and more unlikable every day. General Hospital spoilers, Chase and Brooklyn's future plans? Chase, wrote another critic. I hope your wife is furious with you for deceiving her. I detest you for thinking that Willow is a whore. And you're just as foolish as Willow, you haven't even seen a doctor. Lynn shouldn't even believe you. Then there was this comment as well. I hope Brooklyn confronts Chase because I detest him for being such a coward and for lying to his own wife, believing Willow after she told him he couldn't have children. Carly and Jack are no accident, head writers reveal. And we're looking at more lives threatened. The revelation that Carly and Jack's intertwined destinies are no accident sends shockwaves through the narrative landscape, promising a deeper, more intricate storyline that will keep audiences on the edge of their seats. This statement, made by the head writers, suggests that their connection is not merely a product of chance or convenience, but is instead rooted in a carefully orchestrated plan, one that may have far-reaching consequences for the characters and the world they inhabit. As the story unfolds, the stakes are set to rise dramatically, with more lives threatened and the potential for heartbreak, betrayal, and redemption looming large. The significance of Carly and Jack's connection. Carly and Jack have always been compelling characters in their own right, each bringing a unique set of strengths, vulnerabilities, and complexities to the table. Carly, often portrayed as resilient and resourceful, has faced numerous challenges throughout her life, emerging stronger but not without scars. Jack, on the other hand, is a character defined by his moral compass and determination, though his past is shrouded in mystery and regret. Together, they form a dynamic duo, their chemistry undeniable, and their partnership often serving as the emotional core of the story. The head writer's assertion that their connection is no accident implies that their meeting, their bond, and the events that have unfolded around them are part of a larger design. This opens up a wealth of possibilities for exploration. Were they brought together by external forces with a hidden agenda? Is their relationship a key piece in a puzzle that neither of them fully understands? Or is their connection tied to a prophecy, a curse, or a long-buried secret that is only now coming to light? One possibility is that Carly and Jack are unwitting pawns in a game orchestrated by a powerful antagonist. This antagonist could be someone from their past, a shadowy figure who has been manipulating events from behind the scenes, pulling strings to ensure that their paths would cross. Alternatively, their connection could be tied to a larger cosmic or supernatural force, one that has destined them to play a pivotal role in an impending conflict or catastrophe. Thematic implications. The idea that Carly and Jack's connection is no accident raises profound thematic questions about fate, free will, and the nature of destiny. Are the characters truly in control of their own lives, or are they merely following a preordained path? This theme has been a staple of storytelling for centuries, from Greek tragedies to modern-day dramas, and it resonates deeply with audiences because it reflects the universal human experience of grappling with the unknown. For Carly and Jack, this revelation could lead to an existential crisis. If their connection is not a product of their own choices, what does that mean for their agency and autonomy? Will they embrace their roles in the larger plan? Or will they fight against the forces that seek to control them? This internal conflict could serve as a rich source of character development, allowing the writers to delve deeper into their psyches and explore how they respond to the idea that their lives may not be their own. At the same time, the theme of fate versus free will could be mirrored in the broader narrative. As more lives are threatened, other characters may also find themselves questioning the nature of their own destinies. Are they merely collateral damage in a grand design, or do they have the power to shape their own futures? This tension could drive the story forward, creating a sense of urgency and raising the emotional stakes for everyone involved. The threat to lives. The headwriter's tease of more lives threatened suggests that the story is about to take a darker, more intense turn. This could manifest in a variety of ways, from physical danger to emotional and psychological turmoil. The threat to lives may not be limited to the main characters. It could extend to their loved ones, their allies, and even innocent bystanders caught in the crossfire. One possibility is that the antagonist, recognizing the importance of Carly and Jack's connection, will target those closest to them in an effort to manipulate or control them. This could lead to heart-wrenching scenes of loss and sacrifice, as the characters are forced to make impossible choices to protect the people they care about. The threat to lives could also serve as a catalyst for character growth, pushing Carly and Jack to confront their fears, overcome their weaknesses, and rise to the occasion in ways they never thought possible. Another angle is that the threat to lives could be tied to a larger, more existential danger. Perhaps the world itself is at risk, and Carly and Jack's connection is the key to averting disaster. This could introduce elements of high-stakes drama, with the characters racing against time to uncover the truth and prevent catastrophe. The threat to lives would then take on a more global scale, raising the stakes and adding a sense of urgency to the narrative. Speculative storytelling. What could happen next? Given the headwriter's hints, it's possible to speculate on where the story might be headed. Here are a few potential directions. The revelation of a hidden agenda. Carly and Jack could discover that their connection is part of a larger plan orchestrated by a powerful organization or individual. This could lead them on a journey to uncover the truth, facing numerous obstacles and adversaries along the way. As they delve deeper, they may find that their lives have been intertwined since before they even met, with their families, pasts, and futures all connected in ways they never imagined. A prophecy or curse. The idea of a prophecy or curse could add a supernatural or mythological layer to the story. Carly and Jack might learn that they are destined to play a key role in an ancient conflict, one that has been brewing for centuries. This could involve uncovering hidden knowledge, seeking out powerful artifacts, or confronting otherworldly forces. The threat to lives could come from those who seek to prevent the prophecy from being fulfilled, or from the consequences of the prophecy itself. A test of loyalty and sacrifice. As the threat to lives escalates, Carly and Jack could be forced to make difficult choices that test their loyalty to each other and to their principles. They may be faced with situations where they must sacrifice something, or someone, dear to them in order to achieve a greater good. This could lead to moments of intense emotional drama, as they grapple with the weight of their decisions and the impact on their relationship. A twist in the timeline. The headwriter's statement that Carly and Jack's connection is no accident could hint at a twist involving time travel, alternate realities, or a non-linear narrative. Perhaps their meeting was orchestrated across different timelines, or their actions in the present are influenced by events that have yet to occur. This could open up a complex and layered storyline, with the threat to lives spanning multiple dimensions or timelines. The emergence of a new antagonist. While the current antagonist may be behind the manipulation of Carly and Jack's connection, the threat to lives could come from a new, even more dangerous foe. This antagonist could have their own agenda, one that puts Carly and Jack, and everyone they care about in grave danger. The introduction of a new villain could shake up the dynamics of the story, introducing fresh challenges and raising the stakes even higher. Character dynamics and relationships. The revelation that Carly and Jack's connection is no accident is likely to have a profound impact on their relationship. If they discover that their bond has been manipulated or engineered, it could lead to feelings of betrayal, anger, and mistrust. They may question whether their feelings for each other are genuine, or if they have been influenced by external forces. This could create tension and conflict between them, testing the strength of their relationship and forcing them to confront difficult truths about themselves and each other. At the same time, this revelation could also bring them closer together. Faced with the knowledge that their connection is part of a larger plan, they may find solace in each other's presence, drawing strength from their shared experiences and mutual understanding. Their journey to uncover the truth could deepen their bond, as they rely on each other to navigate the challenges ahead. The threat to lives could also impact their relationships with other characters. As they struggle to protect those they care about, they may find themselves at odds with friends, family, and allies who have their own agendas, or who are unwilling to accept the risks involved. This could lead to moments of conflict and heartbreak, as loyalties are tested and alliances are strained. Conclusion. The headwriter's revelation that Carly and Jack's connection is no accident sets the stage for a thrilling and emotionally charged storyline. As the narrative unfolds, audiences can expect to see deeper exploration of themes like fate, free will, and the nature of destiny, as well as high-stakes drama involving threats to lives and the potential for heartbreak and redemption. The characters' relationships will be tested, their loyalties questioned, and their very lives put in jeopardy as they navigate the challenges ahead. Whether their connection is the result of manipulation, prophecy, or some other force, one thing is certain. Carly and Jack's journey is far from over. As they confront the truth about their bond and the dangers that lie ahead, they will be forced to make difficult choices, face their fears, and ultimately determine their own destinies. The road ahead is fraught with peril, but it is also filled with the potential for growth, love, and triumph. And as the headwriters have promised, more lives will be threatened, ensuring that the story remains as gripping and unpredictable as ever. Cyrus' mission is finally brought to an end by spoiler. In the world of television dramas, some characters are introduced with an immediate sense of mystery and intrigue. Their presence shakes the foundations of established storylines, and their actions propel the narrative forward, often in unexpected directions. One such character who embodies this type of narrative disruption is Cyrus, a villainous figure whose mission to manipulate, control, and cause chaos in the lives of others has been a major storyline in the hit soap opera The Young and the Restless. His ruthless pursuit of power and his complex relationships with the residents of Genoa City have kept viewers on the edge of their seats. However, after years of scheming, Cyrus' mission is finally brought to an end, and it is a pivotal moment in the show's arc. This essay explores how Cyrus' mission came to an end, who played a role in bringing it to a close, and the implications for the show's characters and future storylines. The Rise of Cyrus, a mission shrouded in mystery. Cyrus was first introduced as a formidable antagonist, whose reach extended across multiple facets of Genoa City. From his initial appearance, it was clear that he was no ordinary villain. His calm, calculated demeanor and his ability to pull strings behind the scenes made him a deeply unsettling presence. As an individual with a vast network of contacts and influence, Cyrus posed a direct threat to many characters who had established themselves as the moral compass of the show. His objectives were never entirely clear at the start, but his relentless drive to assert control became evident as his interactions with key players like Victor Newman, Nick Newman, and other members of the Newman family unfolded. In the early days of his storyline, Cyrus' motives were shrouded in secrecy. His mission appeared to be a complex web of power plays, covert operations, and manipulation. Whether it was undermining Victor's empire, sowing discord within the Newman family, or trying to take over various business ventures in Genoa City, Cyrus' mission was not just about the accumulation of wealth, it was about gaining control. He wanted to break the Newmans and assert his dominance over Genoa City, a goal that placed him in direct conflict with some of the show's most beloved characters. One of the key components of Cyrus' mission was his ability to manipulate people. He was a master of psychological warfare, using his knowledge of his enemies' weaknesses to turn them against each other. His machinations led to the breakdown of relationships and alliances, and his influence spread through Genoa City like an insidious virus. For the longest time it seemed that nothing could stop him, as every attempt to thwart him seemed to be met with failure. The turning point. A new player in the game. As with all great soap opera villains, Cyrus was eventually met with a formidable opponent. Enter the character who would ultimately bring his mission to an end. Spoiler. This character was initially introduced as an outsider to the ongoing drama in Genoa City, but it quickly became apparent that they were more than just a new face, they were a game changer. Spoiler's arrival in Genoa City was not only a fresh breath of air in the show's narrative, but also a key turning point in the battle between good and evil. What set Spoiler apart from Cyrus' previous adversaries was their ability to outsmart him. Unlike other characters who had failed to match Cyrus' level of cunning, Spoiler was equally skilled at manipulation, deception, and psychological tactics. This level of intelligence made them an ideal opponent to finally bring Cyrus down. Spoiler had a personal stake in the conflict with Cyrus. Their motivations were not purely driven by a desire to protect the people of Genoa. Shaken to the core, Carly had always prided herself on being strong, resilient, and unshakable. Life had thrown its fair share of curveballs at her, and she had weathered every storm with a steely determination that earned her both admiration and envy. But this was different. This wasn't just a storm. It was an earthquake, tearing apart the very foundation of everything she thought she knew. And at the center of it all was Joss, the person she loved most in the world, making a decision that would change both of their lives forever. It had started innocuously enough, as most life-altering moments do. Joss had been quieter than usual, more withdrawn. Carly had noticed, of course. She always noticed when something was off with Joss. But she had chalked it up to stress or fatigue. Joss had been juggling a lot lately. Work, family obligations, and the ever-present pressure to live up to expectations. Carly had tried to be supportive, offering words of encouragement and the occasional shoulder to lean on. But nothing could have prepared her for the bombshell Joss dropped that fateful evening. They were sitting in their favorite cafe, the one with the cozy corner booth and the mismatched mugs that felt like home. Carly had been rambling about her day, laughing at some silly anecdote, when she noticed the look on Joss's face. It was a look she had never seen before. A mixture of resolve and sorrow, as though Joss were standing on the edge of a cliff, ready to jump. Carly, Joss began, their voice trembling slightly, there's something I need to tell you. Carly's laughter died in her throat. She reached across the table, her hand instinctively seeking Joss's. What is it? You're scaring me. Joss took a deep breath, their eyes locking with Carly's. I've decided to leave. Not just the city but everything. I'm going to start over somewhere new. The words hit Carly like a punch to the gut. She felt the air leave her lungs, her mind racing to make sense of what she had just heard. What do you mean start over? What about us? What about your job, your family, your life here? Joss looked down, their fingers tracing the rim of their mug. I've thought about this a lot, Carly. More than you know. And I've realized that I can't keep living like this. Feel stuck. Like I'm just going through the motions, pretending to be someone I'm not. I need to find myself, and I can't do that here. Carly's heart was pounding now, her mind a whirlwind of confusion and fear. But why can't you do that here? With me? I thought we were in this together. Joss's eyes filled with tears, and they reached for Carly's hand, squeezing it tightly. We are. But this isn't about you, Carly. It's about me. I need to figure out who I am, what I want. And I can't do that while I'm still tied to everything that's holding me back. Carly felt a lump rise in her throat, her own tears threatening to spill over. So that's it? You're just going to leave? What am I supposed to do without you? Joss's voice was barely a whisper. You'll be okay, Carly. You're the strongest person I know. You don't need me to be happy. But I want you, Carly choked out, her voice breaking. I want you in my life. Isn't that enough? Joss shook their head, their tears finally falling. It's not about what's enough, Carly. It's about what's right. And right now, this is what I need to do. I hope someday you'll understand. The conversation had ended there, with Joss walking out of the cafe and leaving Carly sitting alone in the booth, her world crumbling around her. She had sat there for what felt like hours, staring at the empty space where Joss had been, trying to process what had just happened. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't make sense of it. How could Joss just leave? How could they throw away everything they had built together? In the days that followed, Carly felt like she was living in a fog. She went through the motions of her daily life, but her heart wasn't in it. She couldn't focus at work, couldn't sleep at night, couldn't stop replaying that conversation in her mind. She kept waiting for Joss to change their mind, to come back and say it was all a mistake. But they didn't. Instead, they started making plans to leave, packing up their apartment and saying their goodbyes. Carly felt like she was losing a part of herself with every passing day. Joss had been her rock, her confidant, her best friend. They had been through so much together, and Carly had always believed that nothing could tear them apart. But now, faced with the reality of Joss's decision, she felt more lost and alone than she ever had before. She tried to talk to Joss to understand why they were doing this, but every conversation ended the same way, with Joss insisting that this was something they needed to do for themselves, and Carly feeling more hurt and confused than ever. She couldn't understand how Joss could be so selfish, so willing to throw away everything they had for some vague idea of finding themselves. But as the days turned into weeks, Carly began to realize that it wasn't just about Joss. It was about her too. She had always defined herself in relation to Joss, always seen herself as part of a unit rather than an individual. And now, faced with the prospect of being alone, she didn't know who she was anymore. It was a terrifying realization, but it was also a wake-up call. Carly had spent so much of her life relying on Joss for stability and support that she had never stopped to think about what she wanted for herself. She had always been so focused on taking care of others that she had neglected her own needs, her own dreams. And so, as much as it hurt, Carly began to see Joss's decision in a new light. It wasn't just about Joss leaving. It was about Carly learning to stand on her own 2 feet. It was about her finding her own strength, her own identity, outside of her relationship with Joss. That didn't make it any easier, of course. The pain of losing Joss was still there, a constant ache in her chest that never seemed to go away. But slowly, gradually, Carly began to piece herself back together. She started therapy, working through her feelings of abandonment and insecurity. She reconnected with old friends, rediscovering parts of herself that she had forgotten existed. And she began to dream again, to imagine a future that was hers and hers alone. It wasn't a linear process. There were days when the grief felt overwhelming, when all she wanted to do was curl up in bed and cry. But there were also moments of clarity, of hope, when she could see the light at the end of the tunnel. And with each passing day, she grew a little stronger, a little more confident in her ability to navigate life without Joss. As for Joss, they had left the city as planned, embarking on a journey of self-discovery that took them to places Carly could only imagine. They kept in touch sporadically, sending postcards and the occasional text, but it wasn't the same. The distance between them was more than just physical, it was emotional too. Carly knew that their relationship would never be the same, and that was perhaps the hardest part of all. But she also knew that Joss's decision, as painful as it was, had been a necessary one. For both of them, Joss had needed to find themselves, and Carly had needed to find herself too. And in the end, maybe that was the silver lining. Maybe, just maybe, they would both come out of this stronger, wiser, and more whole than they had been before.